25th, day 19. Yeah, woke up this morning, looked out, can't see what kind of day it was, and a southeast wind was blowing, probably a few flurries in the air. And so I packed up as usual and loaded the canoe, and there's some open water to begin with, which I lined for a while, then I canoed through a boulder field, and then I went through this narrows for about four miles, and it was really quite technical. A lot of very thin ice. A lot of it was impossible to line because of the trees in the water that extended way out, and cliffs and narrows, and it was really very technical. 3 hours for me. It was quite interesting, actually. I was lining over cliffs, and the final finale of the 5 days I spent on the rivers. And just as I got out of the Narrows into this huge lake called Mille Lacs Lake, you might look on the map, the Google map that shows my location. Just check out that map. It's the most complicated lake I've ever seen in my life. You know, hundreds of islands and points. It's a beautiful lake, though. Birds are flying around a lot of it. Just as I got out of the Narrows, the storm came up. We settled down, strong winds, visibility dropped. I just love traveling in storms. I usually watch them from out inside, but I've traveled in so many storms in my life. But the visibility dropped, and I used just the map alone. I didn't use a compass or a GPS. And the islands and the points were just shallow. It's almost like traveling at night. A lot of times you travel at night, the islands, you can just barely see them, like almost like a shadow. It's similar like this in a whiteout, but I managed to navigate from point to point to island, always keeping track exactly where I was on the map. There's enough small islands on it that I could go from island to island as long as you kept track of the map. And the travel was pretty good at first, and the wind was strong, and that kept the snow off the lake. But then later the wind died down and the snow continued. It was 32 degrees. It's the most miserable type of snow you can imagine. Anything that had any type of color to it melted. All my gear, everything got soaking wet. And which I didn't mind as long as I was moving. But then gradually the snow got deeper and became harder to pull. And then I just, within a short period of time, the sled got harder and harder, and it literally stopped. I couldn't move it. So I foraged my gear into land so I get some shelter. And even with the empty sled, I could barely pull it with all my might. But I did get it to shore, and I made a comfortable camp here kind of early. It was kind of good getting a break here. And waiting it out here, I'm going to get up really early in the morning, hoping maybe it might freeze. This crust might form on it if we do get a frost. But this can't also, I could be stuck here for a while. Any type of snow like this is a real problem. It's just ironic that I had totally clear weather the last week on the rivers, and the snow just came in just literally just as I finished the last thin ice. The storm came in, so my timing was perfectly. There's no way I could have traveled in the rivers like I did. I was able to read the ice real clearly without the snow on it, but once you get snow on it, it's a story. And but it just feels so great. Because last week on the river, it was so challenging to re-exercise everything I had to negotiate this. But all my skills have built up a lifetime, especially the last few years on the rivers. It's almost like an extended wall climb where you go from one foothold, one move to the next move, and one pitch at a time, and just keep going for days. And you don't know how the next pitch is going to go. I have no idea how we're going to get through this thing, but I figured it out like just moment to moment, and it felt safe. And but anyway, comfortable camp here. Going to go to bed here soon, and getting up early in the morning and give it a try. We're over now.